Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. Happy holidays to everybody out there. I was up late on Thursday. Those of you who follow my journey know that it was quite a journey over the last 10 days after Buffalo and my trip to Tokyo and Seoul and back, and Thursday night football. And, you know, I've been looking forward to having this guy on. He's a 2020 sponsor. He's been a friend of ours for a long, long time, participating in a lot of our events and different things around town. Leonard Raskin joining us here from Raskin Global, empowering people to choose their financial future. I tell you what, Lamar Jackson is making us all choose whether we're going to bus, train, fly, or flap our wings to South Florida the first week of February. Leonard, I'm up to my knees in doing Super Bowl planning right now. This is a wonderful little surprise for me on the back end of my sojourn over to Asia, man.
It would be a lovely trip to South Beach in February. That's my wedding anniversary, and I celebrated there. Well, not there. I celebrated in New Orleans for the last Super Bowl, and it would be awfully nice to celebrate a little 26th wedding anniversary in South Beach. I'm all for it.
You know, I'm trying to figure out, like, we did the parade in New Orleans, right? You know, there were 17 blocks. And so South Florida's, like, not contained like that. Like, the stadium's at the end of a freeway, right? I mean, there's South Beach is that way. Fort Lauderdale's is that way. Hollywood's over there. You know, I don't know how we're going to get everybody together, but the first thing is, are we going to get there, right? And this Lamar Jackson thing, for anyone who loves the team, like you love the team and I love the team, I loved Joe. You loved Joe. I know last time we got together we talked about loving Joe. It is amazing how quickly this thing can turn when you have a special player.
Let's face it, we've never seen offense in Baltimore like this. I mean, this feels like college football. I mean, watching these games, three of the last four or four of the last five? Has Lamar played the fourth quarter or a part of the fourth quarter? My goodness, when do you see an NFL team take out the quarterback in the fourth quarter like it's nothing? This is just wild to watch. It's been unbelievable.
Well, a little bit of it's like whack football because you look up and you're putting up 40s. I mean, once they got to 21 on Thursday night, I said, they're good for 50, right? And they would have been good for 50 had the game been competitive. And Harbaugh likes to run it up. I mean, Lamar's out there 35-7 games still throwing the ball over everybody's head trying to hit bombs. I mean, there was no give up. But then again, you know, Greg Williams doing cheap shots down on the goal line on Thursday night 2 different times with their backs up. This is part of the Lamar thing where Lamar's going to frustrate and anger defenders. And as much as guys line up to get his jersey, and 3 guys did that after the game with the Jets on Thursday night, there are going to be guys looking to break him in half. And that much is obvious in the low hits and the late hits and the clean hits and the dirty hits and the out-of-bounds hits and the borderline hits. This is something we're going to be watching because we remember when RG3 got broken in half by Haloti Ngata.
Absolutely. I was there. That was the Kirk Cousins coming out party. I was in the Redskins Stadium. What a great place. 5th row behind the bench. I was right in front of Ngata laying him out and broke him in half. Let's face it, that was unfortunately for him, you know, the end of a potentially great career.
Well, he still has the potential to throw the football against the Browns this week or Pittsburgh next week. It would really be something to not have the Steelers game mean anything at all. And I remember back in 2003, Billick put all the troops out there against the Steelers, and then the next week there was less gas in the tank against the Tennessee Titans. Luke had brought that up earlier this week on behalf of Living Classrooms Foundation and our fantastic partnership with Brian Billick. And I'll bring that up with Brian when I talk to him next week as well. But there is a part of this where there is going to be some rest here. With a victory over Cleveland, there's going to be a significant amount of rest here. I think that's a good thing all the way around, but it is so unusual to be 12-2. I don't even know how to act, Leonard.
Yeah, it's crazy times. It's great to watch this great offense. It's amazing to see I think it's pretty quick, 5 games turnaround of the national media from not bad for a running back to, this guy is the lockdown MVP. And hearing everybody talk about how phenomenal it is to watch him play and to be there, and they're just laughing it up. When's the last time they did that? I mean, even when Ray was in his heyday, they didn't love him.
Well, look, we all had a right to have a healthy skepticism, right, about this. I think everybody had a healthy skepticism because 31 teams passed on them, including the Ravens. You know, the Ravens will talk about how smart they are. They drafted a tight end who's now their backup tight end instead of drafting him. So let's not act like the whole world was onto him. But we've talked for months now, and I give you an opportunity, of course, to do this. I mean, I've talked to the Peter Kings and all the national writers about what an incredible leap of faith the organization takes when you trade up to get a quarterback that no one else believes in, then completely and totally build your entire offense, your entire team really around him, which is what Eric DeCosta and this team has done over the last 18 months. There's some conviction involved in that, but also, you're in the money business, Leonard Raskin. I mean, at Raskin Global, there's a risk, right? I mean, there's downside and there's upside, and with Lamar Jackson, there was always risk. The Ravens were willing to take that on to have a chance to be 12-2 with a special guy.
Yeah, and you know better than I what position Harbaugh played in getting him here as that last first round pick. But I was looking last year. Let's face it, this town, this team. It seemed to me that Harbaugh went out on a big limb by, I guess that Joe was hurt, but I don't know that he was hurt the whole rest of the year. And leaving Lamar as your quarterback straight through the playoffs, I think if they wouldn't have had the success they had at the end of the year, Harbaugh wouldn't have been back perhaps. And now you've got him, around the country, people saying, this is the coach of the year. Look what this administration, look what this organization has done with this guy. They've rebuilt their team, and look at the coaching job he's done. He wasn't being regaled as coach of the year last year, I can tell you that.
Well, this time last year, he was getting barbecued, and Lamar Jackson was winning football games, and people were in disbelief. At some point, the kid's going to have to throw the football. And then this otherworldly quality he has to see the action on the field and the movement on the field in a way to deliver the ball, to deliver 5 touchdown passes and one that to 5 different receivers in a night when, quite frankly, he wasn't all that great. The team wasn't all that great on Thursday night against a bad team. They played down to their competition, covered a 16.5-point spread, and won by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was an unreal display, and that's what, third game of the year that he's put up 5 touchdowns. And I think, I don't know if it's the 4th or 5th time this season, first 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. Where do you see that?
Well, and then there's the 9-minute drives in the fourth quarter, right? Like that was a benefit we didn't see coming, which is if you get to the fourth quarter and we're up a touchdown or 2 on you, you better figure out how to tackle these guys because they're going to run the clock, they're going to stay in between the hashes, and they're going to eat the clock up, and you're going to be getting on the bus. And the Ravens have done that 10 weeks in a row now.
It's been phenomenal. It's been a lot of fun, I can tell you that, and I'd like to see us go into Cleveland and make amends for that ugly loss here at the bank. I'd love to see that.
That's the one thing I'm worried about, Leonard. The ankles of Lamar Jackson and desperate teams doing stupid things like Greg Williams did on Thursday night, or the Bills hitting them high, hitting them low, hitting them late. This is a game that worries me, the Cleveland Browns game. These division games where it's a little chippy, and clearly everybody in Cleveland thought they would be booking their flights to South Beach at this point, right?
Yeah, well, they were the darlings preseason. Every sportscaster, you look at their picks. They're going to go back and change them now, but the Browns were going to the Super Bowl. I mean, they were can't miss.
Yeah, I remember the Vegas numbers. There's a lot of uncashed tickets on Cleveland Browns, 6-1 for the Super Bowl. Leonard Raskin is here. He's at Raskin Global. He is local but global. And, I'll give you a chance to tell everybody what you do because you and I have had cocktail parties together. We sat at football games and at tailgates. We were together in London a couple of years ago. Financial planning, but fee-based general managership for all of your financial needs. I know you're very holistic about how you try to look at folks' money because you don't care if they have $1 or $1 million. You're trying to grow $1 to $2 and $1 million to $1 million and $1, right?
Absolutely. We look at everything people are doing with their money. The most important thing that we come with differently than the big institutions or the traditional firms is if you want to come to us and invest your money, we can help you do that, but we're not about investments. What we're about is helping people figure out what's their true purpose for money that's more important than the money itself. Everybody can have more money, but for what? What's the goal here? Is it to spend time with your family? Is it the love you feel for your life and for your kids? Is it the impact you want to make on this world? We ask clients all the time, if you had a choice and you could leave one thing to your children and one you couldn't, the choices are your money or your values. Which is more important? And I can tell you, Nestor, I haven't had a soul in 33 years of doing this tell me that leaving their money was more important than leaving their values. So we dig in with people and we talk about what those values are. Talk about then how do you invest, how do you protect, how do you do the things with your money properly to achieve what your life's about and what those values are. And then, and only then, we look to protect it all. We look to invest it all. We look to grow it and help people do the things with their money that gets them to that point. But if you don't know what you're doing it for, I'm not the place for you.
You can find Leonard Raskin, RaskinGlobal.com, doing it for folks around the community. You've heard the name and seen him associated with the Ravens and Ravens players in football here. And now we get associated with playoff football. And, the expectations are through the roof, right? Like, I landed from Tokyo the other night, drove into the city around 1 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday night, and the city's purple. I mean, I saw it on Twitter. I saw that the mayor had told everybody to light up, and I knew we had lit up our place a little bit. My wife's always about the purple, around the condo. But we walked through the city. We found homes just on our walk to the stadium Thursday night where the entire home was glowing purple. This Festivus thing and the enthusiasm, this has to go to the Super Bowl, right? Like, I mean, there is no other substitute at this point, as Lamar Jackson said. Believe that, but for the team now and for the city and for expectations, I don't think I've ever seen expectations like this 2 weeks before Christmas, where the expectation is a Super Bowl. We've never been that kind of team or town around here. We wanted the Super Bowl, but we've never been the best team in this way.
Yeah, I agree. I've in the past been worried about, we're going to go into this game and it's going to be horrible. Let's face it, we had the last game against Cincinnati. We had the last game against Pittsburgh. We've had those heartbreaks. It's been a fight every game, 7 points, 3 points. And so every season's last game next to the last game. And you go into the playoffs and you think, we're not going to make it. We got to go to New England or we're going to lose in Kansas City, whatever it is. Now everybody I talk to is asking me, hey, have you bought your tickets for Miami yet? Are you going to Miami? Are you going to you're going to be at the playoff games. We're going to be the number one seed. You're going to be there for those games. And I think people will be horribly disappointed if this isn't a team that ends up in Miami February.
You want Terrell Suggs back? Cardinals released him halfway through the day on Friday.
It's hard. It's hard. The one side of me says, wouldn't it be great for him to ride out the end, right through the Super Bowl and get that next ring and call it a day. And then the other side of me says, they offered him enough in the beginning of the season to stay here. Why didn't he stay?
Yeah. I was never a Terrell Suggs fan, right? So, if it were me, this is going to be real interesting to see what the organization, how they really feel about him. Whether they feel like bringing him back would serve any benefit or serve any purpose, football-wise, leadership-wise, or otherwise. This is interesting all the way. The season's been crazy enough, right? I mean, crazy enough that we're going to Cleveland. The Pittsburgh game might be a sit-it out. We're going to be sitting around the first weekend watching everyone else play football. This next month is, we're going to be biting our nails by the time the Chiefs or the Bills or the Steelers or whomever it's going to be that's going to wind up being our first opponent. And, we're going to be a nice, healthy 10, 12-point favorite for our first playoff game after a bye week. That's all sitting in front of us. Now, how does this team manage that? They've managed everything else. They've managed Thursday night. They've managed Seattle. They managed New England. They've managed a 10-game winning streak. How are they going to manage that success the second week of January?
It's certainly unusual. I mean, I can't look. We've had one. Have we had a home game with a bye? When have we had that?
Yeah, we did. The Peyton Manning year, 06, and we lost.
We lost. I mean, that was a dreadful game against the Colts. So yeah, I don't want to see that. I want to see a big rally. I want to see a great prepared team. I think you're right. I think the Pittsburgh game's a nice time to sit some people out, a little sore. You get a little healthy. I can't imagine why Lamar would step foot on the field other than to help a teammate up or pat somebody on the back. There's no reason for him to dress. I think that's an RG3 game. And back to the Suggs question, I look at it and say, is he better than who they have right now in that position? And is he going to make any difference down the stretch to the benefit of the team? And I guess the other question is, does he even get to us? Does somebody else grab him just for the heck of it so he doesn't get to us?
Well, these are all great questions. We're going to play that all out all weekend long. The Ravens have the weekend off. Leonard, what do we do, guys like you and me, with a free Sunday in December with no football? I mean, I'm thinking there's shopping, there's honeydews, there's things on the list, there's red zone, there's all sorts of things that could be done this weekend, right?
Oh, it'll be a great sleeping in Sunday. No tailgate worries. No angst about what's happening in our game. Yeah, I'll probably kick the feet up and catch the games. I'll still be watching the other teams. And I'll be wondering who to root for. You know, you always get that burning desire. Do I root for this team or that team? Well, I hate those guys, but I love these guys. But those guys need to win. These guys need to lose. So I'll be watching all that.
You know, it doesn't even matter who we see second week of January, right? I mean, Kansas City would be the one sort of tower we haven't climbed yet, right, as an organization. And I don't know that you want to see Patrick Mahomes coming here. I'd rather have him seeing Tom Brady the first week. But, time will play that out for who we're going to see. But it's interesting in that it might be Buffalo and Pittsburgh, and they're facing each other Sunday. But I'm not worried about it. You know, I don't think anybody here sees any big bad wolf, even in the case of the New England Patriots if they come back.
No, I think this team's proven well enough that they're capable of handling anybody anywhere, not just here, but anywhere. I mean, they went up to Pittsburgh, put up a good show. Let's face it, they destroyed the Rams, destroyed Houston. New England was beat pretty soundly. I'm with you. I'm not fearing anybody coming in here, and I think the team will coaches have them ready. They haven't been unready for a game yet. That's the thing. They had a little bit of lack of discipline late last night, during the Thursday game, but forget it. Everything else was, this team was on fire. No penalties, no stupid plays, no bad mistakes. Block punt wasn't thrilling.
Yeah, and the missed extra point wasn't thrilling either. The special teams were a little less than special, which, I'm sure that's going to create some extra film study and some extra snappage for the Wolf Pack leading into Cleveland. Leonard Raskin, he runs Raskin Global. You can find them at raskinglobal.com, a firm of financial planners and investment advisory representatives right here in the local area, a fee-based financial general manager. Leonard, tell them how to find you, and I know other than in your seat at the Ravens game next week.
Yeah, you can find me raskinglobal.com on the website. You can find me at facebook.com/raskinglobal. You can find me at LinkedIn /Leonard Raskin. I'm out there putting out business tips and tidbits, some good year-end thinking.
Yeah, what's going on year-end? I always hear about, like, tax and charitable giving and IRA. I mean, these are the couple of weeks. I'm wrapping that up on a personal level with some business stuff. That everyone has a little unfinished business at the end of the year that maybe they should at least get a second eye on, right?
Yeah, so this is certainly the time of year, these last couple of weeks. If you haven't done it, you want to make sure if you're over 70 and a half, you've taken your required minimum distribution out of your IRAs. You don't want the IRS slapping you with a 50% penalty for making that mistake. If you want to transfer money to a Roth IRA, this is a good time to get that in. Take maximum advantage of maybe a 12 or a 22% income tax bracket, shift some money around. Benefit your family in the long run with tax-free money. There's nothing better than forever tax-free money. That's what an IRA conversion to a Roth IRA does. The other thing is charitable giving. If you're at the level where your itemized deductions are going to come in and you're not going to use the standard deduction, so you're still going to be able to itemize after the 2018 tax law, you want to look at your charitable giving and make charitable contributions before the end of the year so you can write those off. These are the kind of things that we talk with people about in December and just make sure that we've dotted the I's, crossed the T's, taking care of those things that are advantages coming up to year end.
Well, I'll tell you what, I hope you and your family have a great holiday and a great Cleveland game. I hope to see you on the other side at some point during the holidays. We will chat again about more than just the AFC North because, Leonard, we know the North is not enough. We saw the shirts, right?
That's right. They look pretty good, too, on national TV postgame to see them wearing these North is not enough. I thought that was a pretty good. Somebody's pretty clever out there.
I tried to steal a division title hat, but I thought, I'll hold out for the January hats.
There you go. I want the February hat.
Now you're talking. Leonard Raskin from Raskin Global joining us here from Baltimore, hopefully to South Beach in the coming weeks. You can find them out at Raskin Global. You can find me anytime, anywhere in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear. The morning newspaper, chock full of good stuff, ships to you, including a bunch of Baltimore positive stuff, including Police Commissioner Harrison joining us this week, and Sonia Santelises, who runs the Baltimore City Schools. So between education and crime, we got you covered at Baltimore Positive. Make sure you're subscribing to that, as Don Moeller and I now over 100 episodes into Baltimore positivity. I am positive it's going to be a great weekend of football here with my feet up on the couch and a week to get ready for the Cleveland Browns. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.